The next topic is the well loss and basic capacity. So what is well loss? So when water is being pumped out of a well, the drawdown cost includes not only the drawdown, which is given by logarithmic drawdown curve, but also include a certain drawdown caused by flow of water through the well screen and also due to axial movement within the well. So the drawdown caused by the flow through the screen and the axial movement within the well brings the water level in the well from some level. So if this is the ground level, this is the ground level, this is the lower ground level, this is the well, water is here. Up to this level, this point is C, this point is D, and drawdown level is at here. This point is A, this point is B. So this level is SW and this is the S, where S is equal to C1Q. That is the aquifer loss. And this step CD from the this here is the well loss. And this value equal to C2 into Q square. So the drawdown caused by the flow through the screen and the axial movement within the well brings the water level in the well from AB to CD. As this diagram AB to CD drawdown. So this vertical drawdown AC or VD, this AC or VD is also known as well loss. The magnitude of this well loss may be taken equal to C2 Q square as flow in the vicinity of the well face in turbulence. So the total drawdown can be obtained by adding the two drawdown. So the first drawdown is obtained by equation, that is the equation is Q equal to 2 pi K H S divided by 2.3 log 10 into R by RW. So all variables used in formula is also well known. What is the S? S is the drawdown and value of S is S equal to 2.3 Q log 10 R by RW divided by 2 pi KH. So this is the S equal to C1Q, where C1 equal to constant and constant value is given. So the total drawdown in this is given equal to SW total drawdown equal to C1Q plus C2Q. C2Q square. So C1Q is calculated here. And what is C2 square? So C2 square, C2Q square is Bell loss, and C1Q is known as aquifer loss or formation loss. So this is the aquifer loss and this is the well loss. So this aquifer loss is also called formation loss. So in case of unclogged or uninterested well skin, where the skin size is compatible to the surrounding porous media, or the well loss is mainly caused by the axial movement inside the well up to the pump intake, then because the well loss caused by water entering the well through the screen is very small, and when clogging the screen increases, then the well loss increases, and which adversely affect the pump efficiency. So the specific capacity of a well is defined as the well yield per unit drawdown. So the specific capacity is equal to discharge of well divided by drawdown. So that is also written as specific capacity of well equal to discharge of the well divided by drawdown. And this value equal to Q divided by C1Q plus C2Q square. Hence, specific capacity equal to 1 divided by C1Q plus C2Q. Sorry, this is the C1 and C2Q. This is the specific capacity. So this equation clearly shows that the specific capacity of well is not constant but decrease as discharge increases. Because the specific capacity is inversely proportional to discharge value. Next is the efficiency of well. So efficiency of well is already discussed in previous chapter. So that discharge from a well is approximately proportional to the drawdown, that is S, and S is what? S equal to drawdown equal to C1Q. So neglecting well loss also for this relation. So the discharge per unit of drawdown was called a specific capacity of well, and this specific capacity will be different for different well design. So for determining the best drawdown discharge condition for a well, the well may be operated under varying drawdown conditions, and then a graph may be plotted between discharge and drawdown called yield drawdown curve. So that curve is this type. So this curve obtained in a straight line up to a certain stage of drawdown, beyond which the drawdown increases proportionally to the yield, and this places an optimum and efficient limit to the drawdown, which may be allowed to be created in a well, and generally found that 70% of maximum drawdown which can be created in a well. So this is the drawdown curve. For non-equilibrium formula for a Q-FIR, that is for unsteady radial flow. So the main drawback of equilibrium formula given by Thames and Depute was the problem to attain equilibrium condition. Since it is not an easy job to do so, so the pumping has to be continued at the uniform rate for very long time, very long period, so as to achieve a steady flow condition. But further, the several researcher was carried out this problem and to simplify the process and to calculate the yield in the some other way. So the major advancement in this field was made by Thales when he was developed a non-equilibrium formula by introducing the time factor, that is the T factor, and this formula was derived by Thales in 1935 by comparing the flow of water with the flow of heat by conduction. So the formula evolved by Thales involve the solution of complicated integral and the solution of which require the use of various table and graphs. Also, Jacob derived the same formula by directly using the hydraulic condition concept and slightly modified in thesis formula by making a slight approximation. So as to simplify the final formula, that is derived by Jacob, is given by as S is the drawdown and S equal to Q pi 4 pi T into, that is the very lengthy formula, log E 4 T into T by R square into A minus 0.57. This is the formula. So where S is the drawdown in the observation well after a time t from the start of pumping in the main well. Also T is the this T is the coefficient of transmissibility of the aquifer. Q is the discharge pumped out from the main pumped well, and coefficient of discharge is the coefficient of discharge of a major drawdown. R equal to radial distance of the observation well from the main pumped well. So if in an observation well at a distance r from the main pumped well, the drawdown are respectively S1 and S2 at time T1 and T2 after the pumped well from the main pump well, and the drawdown are respectively S1 and S2 at time T1 and T2 after the pumping was started in the main well. So in that condition, the S1 and S2 value is given S1 equal to Q 4 pi T into log E 4 T divided by T into R square into A minus 0.5772 and S2 equal to here is the time t1, here is the time t2 into r squared a minus 0.5772. So for the net drawdown, for calculating net drawdown, that is S1 minus S2 equal to, by simplifying this value, we found the S1 minus S2 equal to 2.3 Q into 4 by T, that is log 10 T2 by T1. So the above formula hold good for larger values of t, and it is evident from the above equation that is that if the drawdown are noted for various values of t on the given observation well at a distance r from the main pumped well, and if a graph is plotted between the log t and drawdown s, so it will be straight line. So with the limitation that the initial values when t is small may not be exactly lie on the straight line, and from this straight line two values of t1 and t2 and corresponding value of s1 and s2 can be read out, and the knowing the value t q can be calculated easily. So the graph is, this is the drawdown versus log t, and here is the drawdown s. So we find the straight line. So this straight line is this. Here is the value T naught, and this is the T1, and this is the T2. This value is S1. This value is S2, and this length is S2 minus S1. Okay. So the straight line can be produced so as to cut the x-axis at point P as shown in figure, as shown in graph. So T at P is represented by T naught. So also we know the formula of S equal to Q by T, that is given here. The formula, this value is, so if put the value of S equal to 0 and T equal to T naught in this formula, if put the value is equal to 0 and t equal to t naught, then what is the value of q by 40? So in that case, the value is calculated as k equal to 4 pi t equal to not 0. So in that case, we can calculate by taking anti-log. So log e 4t t naught divided by r squared a minus 0.577 equal to 0. So by solving this, we can find that 4t t naught divided by r squared a equal to e to the power 0.5772, and by solving this we can find a, that is the coefficient of storage to storage of major drawdown. That value a equal to 2.25 t naught divided by r square. So this is the value of r by taking empty log at this value. So the coefficient of storage A is calculated by this equation. So with the help of these values of A and its drawdown, we can solve different types of question on the basis of Theiss non-equilibrium equation. Next is the type of wells. Types of wells. So there are two types of well: open well or tube well. So water well is hole usually vertical excavated in earth for bringing groundwater to the surface. That excavation portion is known as well. So the well may be classified in two types. First is the open well and second is the tube well. First is the second is the tube well. Open well also known as dug well. So a smaller amount of groundwater has been utilized from the uh, ancient times, that is from the large years ago. That is the open well or dug well. So open well generally open masonry will having comparatively bigger diameter and are suitable for low discharge on order of 1 to 5 liter per second, and the diameter of open well generally vary from 2 to 9 meter, and they are generally less than 20 meter in depth. So the wall of the open well may be built of precast concrete, zinc, or in brick or masonry, stone masonry. So their thickness generally varies from 0.45 to 0.75 meter according to the depth of the well. So also the yield of an open well is limited because such a well can be excavated only to a limited depth where the groundwater storage is also limited. So in case of open well, the water can be withdrawn only at critical velocity for the soil, and if higher velocity cannot be developed at in that case it may lead to disturbance of the soil grain and consequent subsidence of the well lining of the hollow so form. So the limit placed on the velocity is also limits the maximum possible safe discharge of an well. So on the recent method used to improve the yield of the open well is to put in a 8 to 10 centimeter diameter borehole, and also in the center of the well, and tap addition water from an aquifer or from the fissure in the rock. If a clay or a conker layer is available at a smaller depth to support the open masonry well, so a borehole can be made in its center so as to reach the sand strata. So such an arrangement will not only give a structural support to the open well, but will also considerably increase in its yield capacity. So depending upon the availability of such a provision, the open well may be classified into two types. First is the shallow open well and deep open well. So open well also classified in two types, that is shallow open and second is the deep open well. So shallow well is one of the well which rests in the pervious stratum and and uh, and the draw its supply from the surrounding material. On other hand, also a deep well is one which rests on an impervious, that is the mortar layer, and draw its supply from the pervious formation laying below the layer. So through a borehole made into the mortar layer, as so this thick layer also known as matvarva or magashan. So that is referred to layer of clay which is cemented, sand, concrete or other hard material which are often found lying a few meters below the water table in the subsoil, and these names are not applied to the layer of hard material lying above the water table. So the main advantage of such thick layer lies in giving a structure support of the open well resting on its surface. So it is useful for unlined and partly lined well and is indispensable for a heavy machinery well which would not remain stable under steady use without such a support. So this thick layer may either be continuous or may be localized. So and are generally found in different thickness and depth at different places. So the nomenclature of shallow and deep dug well is purely technical and has nothing to do with the actual depth of well. So a shallow dug well might be having more depth than a deep dug well. So a shallow well draws water from the topmost water bearing stratum. So its water is liable to be contaminated by rainwater percolating in the vicinity, which may take with it minerals or organic matter from the decomposing animals and plants. So the water is deep in deep well that is not liable to get such impurities and also infection. So secondly, the pervious formation below the thick layer generally contain greater quantities of groundwater, so yielding high specific yield. So greater discharge and greater supply can be obtained from a deep well as compared to from a shallow well. Also, the water is generally drawn from the dug well or open well by means of a bucket or a rope. So, due to possible surface contamination of water in uncovered well and also the individual bucket adding contamination to the well, so such open well have been covered in many parts of India and fitted with hand pump. So a hand pump uses a reciprocating types of pumping arrangement to lift the water and is described in detail in your another subject, that is the water supply engineering subject. Also cavity formation in open well. So if a well from which no water is being withdrawn, so in that condition water level in such well is will obviously will be same in the starting water table outside the well. So if discharge is withdrawn from this well at a constant rate, then the level in the well will go down and the stabilize at a lower level than that of the outside water well. So the head difference between these two levels is also called depression head. So under the influence of this head difference, water enters the well from the outside so as to fill the gap created by the withdrawn water. So as the water of the surrounding soil travels towards the well, there is a gradual loss of head and water surface drop towards the well. Also, it approaches the well. So there is a gradual increase in flow velocity towards the well. So according to Dorsey law, this so according to Dorsey law, the velocity can gradually increases. Only the condition is if hydraulic gradient is gradually increased. So hence the water surface will fall gently in the beginning and will fall more and more rapidly. So it approaches curve shape and its curved shape is called as cone of depression. So at a certain distance from the well, there is no appreciable depression of water table. So this distance from the center line of the well is called as radius of influence of the well. So the velocity of percolating water into the well depends upon the depression head, and if more amount of water is withdrawn from the well and thereby increasing the depression head, higher flow velocity will prevail in vicinity of the well. So at a certain rate of withdrawal, it is very much possible that flow velocity may exceed the critical velocity for the soil and thereby causing the soil particle to lift up. As more and more sand particles are lifted, a hollow is created in the bottom of the well, and this hollow creation in the bottom of the well resulting in the increased effective area, and so that so this hollow creation is known as due to this hollow creation the velocity fall below the critical value and no further sand goes out of the well. So the formation of such hollow beneath the well or the dangerous in the shallow well. So because there is always a danger of the subsidence of the well lining, the maximum rate of withdrawal from such well is should be limited. Also, in case of deep well resting on thick layer, the cavity So in case of deep well resting that is in the thick layer, the cavity or hollow formation below the borehole is not dangerous because of the well lining remains supported on the thick layer. So hence a hollow much larger in area than cross-sectional area of the well may safely form in the deep well and thereby giving higher yield. So in a shallow well of an individual eel, the well area will have to be increased equal to the area of the cavity under the deep well, which would make it costly. So for the construction of open well may be classified in three types. First is the type 1, type 2 and type 3. So in type 1 well, well with impervious lining in type 1, in type 1 well with impervious lining, and it provides the most stable and useful type of well for obtaining water supply. So type 1 is most useful. So for constructing such a well, a pit is first of all excavated. So generally by hand tools, with the help of hand tool or by the soft moist soil, masonry lining is then built up on the curve up to a few meters above the ground level. So a curve is a circular ring of RCC, either timber or steel, having cutting edge at the bottom and a flat top that is wide enough to support the thickness of the well, that is called stemming. So the curve is then descended into the pit by loading the masonry by sandbags. So as excavation proceeds below the curve, the masonry sinks down. So as the masonry sinks down, it may be corrected by adjusting the load or by removing the soil from or below the curve, which may be causing the tilt. So the well lining, that is a staining, is generally reinforced with vertical steel bar. So after the well has gone off to the water table, so further excavation and sinking may be done either by continuously removing the water to the pump, or excavation may be carried out from the top of the jhamas that is used in well is jhamas. So as a jam is a self-closing bucket which is tied to a rope and worked up and down over a pulley with the help of pulley. So when the jamas is thrown into the well, it just strike the bottom of the well and disloading some of the soil mass. So as the jama is pulled up, the soil cutting get retained, but some water also taken out. So the striking of continuous till the thick layer is reached. A smaller diameter borehole is made through the thick layer in the center of the well and which is generally protected by timber lining. So sometimes which is thick layer is not available. So shallow well may be sunk as described above up to a required depth and partly filled with gravel or broken stone, stone or blast. So this will function. So this will function as a filter through which water will percolate and enter the well, but the sand particle will be prevented from the rising up. Also in Pakka structure well, lined with an impervious lining on its side and the flow is not radial. So the water enter only the bottom and the flow becomes spherical when once the cavity has been formed at the bottom. Second is the type 2 well. So type 2 well with pervious lining and this type well dry brick or stone lining is used on the side of the well and no mortar or binding material is used. So the water thus enter from the side through the pores in the lining and the flow is therefore radial. So such wells are generally plugged at the bottom by mean of concrete and if bottom is not plugged the flow pattern will be combination of radial flow and a spherical flow. So such wells are generally suitable in strata as of gravel or coarse sand. So such a well is constructed in finer soil so as to prevent the entry of sand into the well along the seeping water. So this is the type 2 well. Next is the type 3 well. So generally type 3 well is the kacha well. Type 3 is a kacha well. So these are temporary well of very shallow depth and are generally constructed by cultivators for irrigation water supplies in their field. So such well can be constructed in hard soil, so where the well wall can stand vertically without any support, and they can therefore be constructed only where the water table is very near to the ground. So now they are very cheap and useful. They collapse after some time and may sometimes proved to the dangerous. So this is the types of open well construction on the basis of construction. Next is the yield of an open well. So how we calculate the yield of an open well? So the yield of open well can be determined by performing either two types of pumping test. First is the equilibrium pumping test. Second is the recuperating test. Yield of open well. Calculating by two methods. First is the equilibrium pumping test. So first that is the equilibrium pumping test. So a pump is first of all installed so as to draw sufficient supplies of water from the open well and to cause heavy drawdown in its water level. So the rate of pumping is then changed and so adjusted that the water level in well become constant. So in this condition of equilibrium, the rate of pumping will be equal to the rate of yield of the well at a particular drawdown. So knowing this yield, say Q1 at a certain known drawdown, say S1, so the yield Q at given drawdown S can be calculated as that is the by according to Darcy law K Q equal to KIA. So where K equal to K into S by L, that is the hydraulic gradient into A. So we can also write K by L into A into S. This is the drawdown and it can be also write here C into A into S, where S is the depression head or the drawdown in the well and Q is the discharge, A is the area of cross section. So it can be also written as if Q1 is known discharge at a certain known drawdown S1, then we can write here Q1 equal to CA S1, where Q1 is known, S1 is known. So Q1 and S1 are known and A is the area of cross section of the well. So in case a cavity is formed, then the area A is taken as 4 by 3 times of actual cross section area of the bottom of the well. So by knowing Q1, A and S1 in this equation, the value of C can be calculated. So discharge Q at any value of depression head can be easily calculated by this formula. Okay. So by the above this equation, it is also evident that velocity increases with depression head s and the value of s for which the velocity becomes equal to the critical value and is called the critical depression head. So generally critical depression head is taken as 1 by third time of critical depression head. So in such a head is also known as working head. This head is known as working head. So the maximum yield or critical yield corresponding to the critical depression head and the maximum safe yield corresponding to the working head can be calculated. Second test is the recuperating test. So although the pumping test give accurate value of safe field, it sometimes becomes very difficult to adjust the rate of pumping so as to keep the well water level constant. So in such circumstances, recuperating test is adopted. So in this method, water is first of all drained from the well at a fast rate so as to cause sufficient drawdown. So the pumping is then stopped and the water level in the well will start rising. So the time taken by water to come back to its normal level or some other measured level is then noted and the discharge can be worked out. So this can also shown by diagram. This is the ground level. So in this method, water is first of all drained out from the well at a fast rate so as to cause sufficient drawdown and the pumping is then stopped. So the water level in the well will start rising. The time taken by water to come back to its normal level or some other measured level is then noted and the discharge can be calculated. So according to figure, let AB is the static water level in the well before the pumping was started and CD is the water level in the well when pumping was stopped. So S1 is the depletion head in the well at time of pumping was stopped and EF equal to water level in the well at noted time. Also is the after time T from when the pumping is stopped. That is the EF. And S2 is the this this point is the S2, this is the S2 and this is the DS. So S2 is the depression head in the well at time T after the pumping is stopped. So let Xs be the position of the water level at a time T after the pumping was stopped and let the corresponding depression head be S. So S2 here ds, let ds be the decrease in depression head in a time dt after time t. So hence in a time t after the pumping is stopped, the water level recuperates by S1 minus S2. That is the water level recuperates S1 minus S and it again recuperates by ds in time dt after this well. So volume of water entering the well in a small interval, that is the interval is dt equal to dv equal to a into ds. A is the area, ds is the depth. A is the cross sectional area of the bale at the bottom. Also, if Q is the rate of recharge into the well at time t under a depression head S, then the volume of water entering the well in this small time interval is, that is written as dV equal to Q into dt, but Q proportional to S. Q proportional to S, and this Q also written as C dash into S. So where C dash is the constant that depending on the soil through which water enter the well. This can be also written as dV equal to C dash into S into dt. So by equating this equation, we can write here A into ds equal to C dash into S into dt. So by putting the value, we can integrate this relation up to the limit t equal to 0, t equal to 0 to t equal to t, and x equal to s1 to s equal to s2. So write here the equation c dash a dt equal to ds by s in negative. So s1 limit is s1 to s2 and t1 limit 0 to t. So this is again simplified, and we can write here that is t equal to minus log p s2 by s1, and this can be write final value, that is c dash by a equal to 2.3 log 10 S1 divided by T. So S1, S2 and T, by putting the value S1, S2 and T, we can find the C dash by A, the value of C dash by A. And C dash A is what? C dash by A is called the specific yield or a specific capacity of the open well in Qmax per second. So this value, unit of this value is Qmax per square meter area under unit area under a unit depression head. So knowing the value of C dash A, that is the specific capacity of open well, the discharge Q for the well under a constant depression head S can be also calculated. So discharge also calculated if C dash A is known. So discharge equal to C dash into S, and this value equal to C dash A into S, and this is written as Q equal to 2.3 into log 10 S1 by S2 into A into S. So this is the discharge value. So by knowing A and S, discharge for any amount of drawdown can be easily So in absence of recuperating test, the following value of C dash A is also put as per types of soil. So for clayey soil, specific capacity or yield value in cubic meter per hour per square meter of area under unit drawdown is for clay is 0.25, for fine sand 0.5, and for coarse sand this is value is 1. So this is also very important. For clay, this value is 0.25. For fine sand, for coarse sand, this is 1.00. So the theoretical method which is useful for determining the yield of open well as well as those tube well involve the use of equation developed by Griffiths, Thames, and it is that is discussed. So by the for this formula we can solve different types of question. Next is the method of lifting water from open well. So there are some traditional method is used for the lifting water from the open well. So the important method which are generally used for lifting the water So some important methods which are generally used for lifting water from open well are discussed here. Some are traditional methods, some are machine-based methods. So first method is Dinkley. Second is Curious. Third is Persian wheel or zigzag. So first is Dinkley. So this arrangement is simple device for fetching water from the smaller open open kacha well used for irrigation, a small for irrigation purpose for a small field. So the method used for manual labor for lifting water. So it is work on the principle of lever. So the arrangement consists of a lever arm supported or at a suitable point on a vertical post about which can be swing in a vertical plane. So on the side of the lever rod, a counterweight is attached. So the weight is such a value that is lift the bucket full of water without the help of any other forces. So a string is fastened on the other side of the lever rod. So the bucket is lowered into the bale manually till it deep in the water and get filled up completely with water. So when the bucket filled up, the manual pressure is released and the bucket comes up due to effect of counterweight which goes down in the process. So this process can be repeated and water is lifted from the shallow well. Second method is Churus. So this arrangement is used for lifting water from lined open well and can be conveniently used for wells up to 30-meter deep or more. So this method of lifting water used animal labor. So in this method, it consists a leather container called moti and whose shape is like a funnel. So there is a spot on one side and the shape of the upper portion is like a conical cylinder. So the capacity of this container is about zero point 0.1 to 0.15 cubic meter. Two ropes are tied to the end of the motif. Both the ropes pass over two independent pulleys, and the upper pulley P1 is circular pulley of bigger diameter, and the second pulley carrying the rope tied to the spot that is a cylindrical in shape and is a smaller of diameter. So the pulley are fixed in the wooden frame and the other end of the rope posing over the pulley are connected to a specially prepared yoke. So a pair of bullocks is generally employed to hold the container and the bullock move forward and backward on the ramp of the ground. So when the bullock reach the end, reaches straight from the well. Also, the spot rests on the lower pulley, and due to this continuous process, water can be lifted. Third is the Persian wheel and rear. So this arrangement is widely used in India at all those places where pump had not so far been installed. So this arrangement uses animal labor and is very suitable for well up to depth of 12 to 20 meter depth. So the arrangement is rehead. It consists of endless chain of bucket made of GIC. The chain is mounted on a drum and the endless chain is suspended in the well in such a way that the chain dips in the water by sufficient extent and the drum D is connected by means of a horizontal axle rod to a tooth wheel which is also held in a vertical plane.